trying to get our kids together and we're trying to improve their focus and we getting them to pay attention to detail and we're working them, people on the outside might be like, oh, let them be a kid. This is the reason why we do this, y'all. The look on my daughter's face when she heard she got Student of the Month, okay, is worth it. I will go through her not wanting to, sit down when she had to sit down and practice sitting. That's one thing that I did, practice sitting, right? I will go through that. I will even go through people on the outside. I don't get that now. I used to get that when I was younger. Looking and shaking their heads because they don't understand. I will go through all of that as a mother just to see the look on my baby's face when she comes out and she gets a good report from her teacher every day and she earns Student of the Month. So whatever work you have to do right now, when you feel like this is a lot, or am I being too tough? As a mother, or as a dad, this. I know they don't like it right now, but this is what they need to get them to cross over from getting in trouble and being unfocused and not learning as fast as they should because they're so unfocused and distracted and all over the place, to a place where they are growing, they are being successful, they know what success feels like, and it just keeps going. This is worth it, y'all. It's worth it. Let's improve our kids' focus from home, okay? And to improve her focus and improve her self-control and self-discipline in the classroom, that's something that I had to work on with my daughter, and she was getting in trouble in school for yelling out, for getting out of her seat, and I worked on an action plan with her teacher, and I worked on her every day. And then we were rewarded because she was awarded Student of the Month. And there's only a few of the kids in the whole school, right? From each class. They select kids from each class to have Student of the Month. And these are a couple of the areas that I focus on and I teach my students when they come into my program and what I work on with my own daughters. So we have to really tighten up that structure so that we teach them exactly what focus looks like. Not looking to the right, not looking to the left, not looking on the floor, trying to pick something up. Eyes on the screen, eyes on the paper. Eyes on the screen, eyes on the paper. Eyes on the screen, eyes on the paper. That should be on the checklist too. We have to teach our children what focus looks like, okay? And guide them and block out everything else that they're used to being, having as a distraction. We have to get them to block everything out and then focus on what you want them to focus on. And once they develop that habit at home, they will start to do it at school too. You want to notice how unfocused they become when they become unfocused, when they can focus. We always want to start with an assessment. We always want to see the situation for what it is. There are some similarities between children, but we want this thing to be customized. So we want to notice our kids' patterns. What activities is your child really focusing in? You don't need to tell them to pay attention. You don't need to tell them to look at what he's doing. You don't need to tell him nothing. He just in it, he can focus. When your child is focused, when you find those situations, you want to replicate it and make it across the board, because number one, you realize that your child can focus. It's not something going on with your child that's saying he absolutely cannot focus. Your child absolutely can focus if he's focusing in this time without a problem. He likes doing puzzles and he's completely focused when he's doing puzzles. After you pay attention and see how your child focuses, what times does my child become unfocused? Is it when I tell my child to clean the room and they start spinning around, right? Or is it when it's time for them to read? What happens right before your child becomes unfocused? And then make a plan for that. So what you want to do is you want to create focus for those situations. You want to put some structure around it. If your child right now cannot focus for more than 5 minutes, what you want to do is you want to build up your child's focus stamina. That's definitely something you want to work on. How long can your child sit and focus on a task without becoming distracted by or inviting distractions into their environment? It's time for them to do some work, and somebody will walk past and then they're all paying attention to that. Or somebody say something over here and they're talking over there, right? They're paying attention to everything around them, right? So they get distracted by their environment or inviting distractions into their environment. People could be minding their business over there, right? Or they looking for something and that, you know, I see a bottle of water over there. Like the bottle of water not messing with nobody, but they're looking for distractions, right? And so they'll grab the bottle of water. You want to create a situation where they are expected to focus for more than 5 minutes. Put the structure around it, and you want to make sure that they know that they're going to be doing this and only this for this time. What we don't want is for our children to be in school and they can't focus for more than 5 minutes. They keep needing a teacher or aide to come over and get them on track. You want your child to be able to sit down and do an assignment and do their work. You want your child to be able to sit there and focus on that and only that. The magic happens when you put that structure in there and they're sitting down and they learn to stand in the seat. That means they can't get up to use the bathroom, they can't go get a snack, they can't drop their pencil 100 times, right? They can't come and it's time to do homework. They're like, oh, I forgot my pencil. Oh, I forgot my notebook. Oh, I don't have this. Listen, when my students come into the program, the very first thing they have to do to earn their points, they can earn up to 5 points. Number one is be prepared for success. You must come prepared. Because I don't want nobody leaving in the middle of class to go get nothing. Okay? So my students learn this all the way from 4 years old all the way up until the older kids, right? Middle high school. They sit the whole class. It's very rare any of them actually use the bathroom. It's so rare it's almost non-existent. They are focused on the class for the whole entire hour. Because they've developed this discipline. They know when they come to class, they have to be prepared for success. They have to have their notebook ready. They have to have their pencil ready. They've been writing down their name and date on the paper before they even know what I'm going to be teaching them for the day. Because they are prepared for success. Remain seated is so important. And having them be prepared before they even start doing homework with you or independent study time with you is crucial. Now we can go to the next 3 things. Follow directions, do my work, and do my best. None of that will happen if they don't sit in their seat. He can't focus. He got a big problem with focus. That's temporary, okay? Set an expectation, for how you want it done. So set expectations because it takes more focus to make the bed and put it a certain way and double check and make sure it's right. That only comes from your expectation. You want to tell your child how you want it done. You want to tell your child where the hamper goes and how you want the clothes in the hamper, how you want their shoes organized, right? You want to tell them how you want, the bed made. They can just throw the blanket on and walk away and say, I made the bed. Teach them how you want it. Unless your child is like, I'm just really psyched about having a really made, well-made bed. If they like that, they like their things neat and they feel okay. But the average child is not really, they just want to throw their things and then run out, okay? When they finish eating, don't allow them to just leave their stuff on the table and walk off. They have to clean up after themselves. How? How do you want it done? You want to take their plate and put it in the sink and their cup and put it in the sink and then wipe the table off and take the little crumbs and put it in the trash, push their chair in. We have to give our kids some standards because they will focus on that they know what to focus on. Teaching them to pay attention to details is going to help them in reading, it's going to help them in spelling, it's going to help them in math, it's going to help them in their writing, you know what I mean? It's going to help them in science, it's going to help them everywhere because they have to actually look at it, especially with reading comprehension. A lot of kids read the text, but they don't know what they're reading because they're not paying attention to detail and they're not connecting with what they're reading. They're just getting through it. They can just run over and not really put much effort, not really pay much attention to it. You teach them to slow down and pay attention to detail and make sure what they read every word. Don't pass over A, don't pass over the. Don't switch the and instead of saying this you say the, or instead of saying the you say this. Listen, honey, I stop my students and I get them to go back and get that word. They have to read every word exactly as it appears on the page, and that is teaching them how to pay attention to detail. We have to read everything on the page. We have to read the word name. We have to read the title. We have to read the author. They skip over all of that and just start reading the paragraph, the first paragraph. No, go back and get that. But the reason I do that is to teach them to search the whole page and look at the whole page. Also read the directions on the page, whatever the instructions for how you're going to do your work. It's so important to teach them to pay attention to detail. Ask yourself, what do you want your kids to focus on? What are they focused on mostly? And what do you want them to focus on? Are they focused on watching the game? Playing the game, or on their phone, or watching TV? That's their focus. That's getting their focus. It's not growing them. Give your child a routine that they are in charge of and teach them how to do it independently. I've done my job. I'm sitting back, chilling, watching everything, but I turn my mic off and I turn off my camera so that they can have that teamwork, they can have that camaraderie, and they can function more independently. And man, it's a beautiful thing. And that takes focus to lead a group. We're talking about little kids, okay? I've seen kids improve their focus over time for years. And my students, when they come in, typically within the first couple of weeks, moms and dads see change. You have expectations, okay? And you have the flow of the classroom. You have the community. Well, you're at home. I'm talking about the classroom. But if you have more than one child, hey, this is what we do. We always do the right thing. We make good choices in here, right? We earn this, whatever your incentive is. And start growing and improving your child's focus now. So when they go back to school, they are equipped for success. Because that's what we do. We improve our children's behavior, focus, learning from home, and then we send them to school equipped for success.